combination of both RS3 and RS4. Chalo. So what I'll do is I'll start the remedy which is common to both of you, so that it will not be a repetition for either of them. Okay. Now before I start the remedy in detail, as a third year student, what do you expect from a material class? I mean, what I want to insist here is, every year when you study Materia Medica, it will be different. Yes or no? Though you are studying a single book, all the 4 years, fine, but when we teach or when you understand, Materia Medica will be different. How is it going to be different? First year probably one batch did not have any drugs, the other batch had some 25 drugs. Okay, chalo. Now first year we will be concentrating more on? Very good. We will be studying Materia Medica in relation to anatomy and physiology. Only anatomy and physiology? Pharmacy. Good. So we will try to incorporate the knowledge of anatomy and physiology and pharmacy with Materia Medica. Absolutely right. Now what do we do in second year? We will try to use the knowledge of pathology and only pathology? Toxicology, very good. And toxicology. And we will try to make materia a little more interesting in second year. Now what do we do in third year? Okay. We will try to, use your knowledge of surgery, OBG, medicine, and here a very important part we will try to understand here is, or one more subject, the help of another subject that will be taken up here is organa. And probably one of the batches you will be introduced to repertory. Okay. Probably RS4. So even repertory knowledge will try to borrow, so that the material becomes more interesting. Okay. So now another very important advantage of Materia Medica in third year is, like, you will be exposed more of clinical side. Okay. So for example, surgery, you have something called as therapeutics, right? For surgery, for OPG, for medicine. And this knowledge of your Materia Medica will help you in understanding the therapeutic value. When arsenicum is given for gangrene, when pulsatilla is given for gynec complaints, obstetric complaints, that knowledge you will be getting from here. Okay? So other than making Materia Medica little more practical, little more clinical, you will also have to use the knowledge of Materia Medica for therapeutic purpose. Okay? Any surgery condition, surgery class that is over? Yes. Some surgical condition? Varicose veins, good. See, when you read varicose vein, you will be reading varicose vein from the surgical perspective. Okay? But as a homeopath, what are all the remedies we have in homeopathy for varicose veins? That is what you will be learning here. So from the knowledge of Materia Medica, you will be taking a little, or you will be applying Materia Medica in your clinical subjects. And books, as I try to tell you, for many it's only one. But if you want to become a successful homeopath, you should start reading good books. Okay. And for third year, I have a small list. Kent will continue. But one simple book you need to introduce here is E.A. Farrington. Clinical Materia Medica by E.A. Farrington. If you don't want to spend, we have got plenty of copies in our library. Please do go through those books. E.A. Farrington, Clinical Materia Medica. And of course, you also have Boric and you also have Clark. 3 volumes. Okay? And the other books that I have told you in second year will continue. Like for example, Bird, Physiological Materia Medica by Bird. Okay? And also you also have this small book that we have been using, Alan Skinner. So more emphasis on Clark, and you also have E.A. Farrington, beautiful book. Okay. E.A. Farrington Clinical. Comparative is also good, but I personally suggest clinical. Anybody you have referred clinical anytime? clinical material medical by year current. I was happy when that hand came up. It came up till her nose and she started rubbing her nose. Finally, I've done it. C.A. Farrington is a beautiful book. Read it. Kent, it's almost like a novel you will enjoy. Okay? And of course, the notes, the explanation that I will give you. Okay? See, now I'll start with a very simple remedy. And again, if you look at materia medica, if you look at the sources of materia medica, we have drugs prepared from various sources. Okay? Majority of them or many of them were inert, and many of them had some medicinal properties. Before Dr. Hahnemann proved, many of them had some medicinal properties. And Hahnemann took it up and he started proving them on healthy human beings, and he comes out with a lot of symptoms. Okay? Done? Or I can also start this class with a small case. We had a very unusual case. This is my wife's case. In her clinic, there was this patient who just collapsed in front of her. Something happened and she just collapsed. And everything went cold, no BP, no pulse, nothing. And after this particular remedy was given, 8 minutes or 15 minutes she gets up. It was a very panicky state even for my wife and her daughter-in-law who had come accompanying this old lady. So she suddenly went into a state of collapse, not able to, pulse was very feeble, she became cold, she went into shock. Okay? Rather, my wife and daughter-in-law also were in the verge of going into shock. What happened, looking at whatever happened. But then one simple remedy that brought her back, or that avoided my wife going into shock, was the remedy we'll be discussing in detail. And I'm happy somebody came out with the right remedy, or what we'll be discussing, and that remedy is carbo-veg. Carbo-veg. Okay. In those situations, in those emergency situations, when patients go almost lifeless, okay? When patients go almost lifeless, this is the remedy, or this is the drug which can bring them back to life. I'm not saying the dead will come back to life after you give carbo-veg, but those situations where they are almost, going to die, almost, in that stage, carbo-veg can do wonders. It's an emergency remedy, fine. It's a very essential remedy. So we're trying to understand a little more about carbo-veg. And before Hahnemann proved carbo-veg, what was carbo-veg used for? No, carbo-veg is charcoal. Huh? Okay, it was used as a fuel, good. Huh? Other than it was used as an antidote, very good. See, more than an antidote, it was used as an antiseptic. Like for example, even older days you see for injuries, charcoal powder being applied. Okay? And what was the intention of applying charcoal there was, they had this feeling, which Hahnemann also proves, and in his proving, he shows it to the world. Yes, carbo-veg can be a very good absorbent. It absorbs, right? And it's a very good deodorant. It's a very good disinfectant. If you remember, before the invention of fridge, coal was used to store, preserve food. Okay, so it has got this property of being a disinfectant, an antiseptic, or a deodorant. Done? Okay. So what Hahnemann did was he proved carbo-veg, and I'll just try to share in detail whatever the provings happened and where exactly and for what purpose exactly we use carbo-veg in our clinics. Okay. So carbo-veg, as rightly told by somebody, it is nothing but anything before charcoal you would like to add? Animal charcoal? Vegetable. Carbo-veg. Please use little of your carbo-veg. So it is veg. Gokul veg. You can't go and add a kebab there because it is Gokul veg. You are getting my point? So carbo-veg. You also have a remedy which is prepared by animal ash. and that is carboanimalis. That is carboanimalis. So carboveg is what we will be discussing in detail. And as I put it across a little while before, it's a very deep acting remedy. It's a constitutional remedy. Okay. So where exactly carboveg acts and how is carboveg prepared? Trituration. Preparation is trituration. Tuber is animal. Okay. Now very important for you is this part. This pair of action. What will carboveg do? You know, when it is, for example, when people started proving carboveg, okay, where is the affinity for carboveg, which organ it affects, and what exactly it does. So the main thing you will have to remember is this is a remedy which has got action on the venous system, or capillaries, the venous capillaries. Okay. Again, as we move further, you will realize carboveg is a very important remedy for hemorrhages, for bleedings. Okay. And this is a remedy which will reduce oxygen carrying capacity to your brain. Okay. This is a remedy acting on the circulation. It will decrease circulation. Are you with me? It will decrease circulation, and that's why you see that carboveg, the extremities, okay, are generally cold because there is no proper blood supply happening. And from your knowledge of pathology, from your knowledge of surgery, carboveg also becomes a very important remedy for I'm hearing it right, but who is it? No, whatever, I'm hearing it right, but what is it? Jora. Somebody said gangrene, or because I have gangrene in my mind, I am listening gangrene. Delusion, right? Somebody said gangrene, right? No, then some problem with me. So, gangrene, necrosis. This is all what you have studied in your pathology, systemic pathology, ischemia, necrosis, gangrene. Okay. So when you give a patient who has got gangrene, carboveg, how will carboveg help him in clearing the gangrene? It will increase the circulation. So oxygenation, okay, everything to that particular part increases, and then gangrene heals. Okay. So basically, acting on the venous capillaries, it will decrease the blood flow to the periphery. Okay. You can see more of necrosis, you can see more of ischemia, and you can see more of gangrene in this particular area. Not only venous capillaries, this is also a remedy which has very good action on the mucous membrane. And mucous membrane, as you all know, can be in many areas. Carboveg has a special affinity for GA, mucous membrane, which covers the GA, and mucous membrane which covers the respiratory tract. Okay? Fine? So it acts on the mucous membrane of GA and the mucous membrane of respiratory tract, and it will cause inflammation. It will cause inflammation. You see gastritis, you will see respiratory catarrh. We will discuss more after some time. This is just the introduction. The third area can be lymphatics. And again, students who are very keen to know why the discharges in carboveg are offensive. They have an answer here. Acting on the lymphatic system, it will cause offensive discharges. It could be the sweat, or it could be any discharge in carboveg. You will see it will cause offensive discharges. Okay. The fourth area I want to concentrate here is the glands. Carboveg is a glandular remedy. Other glandular remedies? Very good, spongia. Conium, good, correct, right, conium. Phytolacca, correct, good. Conium, Phytolacca, what was it? Spongia. Spongia, which glands? Thyroid, testis, ovaries. Good. Thyroid, testis, ovaries. Similarly, conium. Very good. Testis, other than testis. Correct, testis, don't worry. Yes, good. Mammary glands. Prostate. Conium. Okay. And one more remedy. Phytolacca. Again a remedy. Where? Phytolacca. It's not over for you? Okay, chalo. You can learn from them. Phytolacca. Very good. Other than memory. Correct. Happy memory. You know, mammary glands. Yeah, mammary glands. Then fast one more. ಕೈ ಕಾಟ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಕೈ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೈಡ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಟಾನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ ಫೈಟೋಲಕ್ಕ ಇಸ್ ಅ ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್ ರೆಮಿಡಿ ಫಾರ್ ಟಾನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ okay ಚಲೋ ಟಾನ್ಸಿಲ್ಸ್ and now we will also see that carbohydrate is a remedy which can also act on glands. Okay, it will cause inflammation, it can cause induration, or it can cause suppuration. Okay. Now one more glandular remedy you can think of. Jorage. Yes, just Bolana. Hepar sulf, Cilicia, hepar sulf, Merck. They can all be glandular remedies. Okay. So now what you will have to realize here is carbohydrates acts on glands and it can either cause inflammation or it can cause induration. What is induration? Good. Hardening. See, whatever you have studied in the previous classes, those knowledge will be used. Just because you have finished pathology, don't forget inflammation, don't forget induration. They are all very important. Okay. So, inflammation, induration, suppuration. Okay. The last thing I want to discuss here is its action on blood. Acting on blood, carbohydrates will cause hemorrhages. What will carbohydrates cause? Cause hemorrhages. Okay. Quickly, other hemorrhagic remedies. Very good. Ammonium carb. Good. Phosphorus. Arnica. Ipecac. Ferrum. Okay, there are ferrum group. Then cinchona. Good cinchona. Because of phosphorus. Chalo, something better. At least few people can answer. One more remedy. Ledam. Ledam will not. Is ledam an injury remedy? What kind of injuries you have in ledam? And from punctured injuries, how much bleeding can you expect? With a pin you prick, and do we keep a bucket there? Unless it's got some problems with clotting mechanism. Okay. Ledam is not, though you have hemorrhages, I don't deny, but not a remedy that you should think of when hemorrhages comes out. Though ledam is also a remedy which can absorb hemorrhages in the eye, black eye, fine, some blow, or in the anterior chamber. If you have hemorrhages, yeah, ledam can be a remedy. Arnica is also a better remedy for all those absorbing things. Correct? Yes, then. Millefolium good. Okay. Bovista, okay. See, when I say hemorrhagic, what do you have to remember here is, see, Bovista is only from one orifice. You get my point? Bovista has, menstrual complaints. When does a remedy becomes hemorrhagic? When you have bleeding, excess bleeding from a slightest injury, or bleeding from all orifices. You are getting my point? Suppose Bovista. Bovista is limited to menstrual. Fine? In Bovista, you will not see bleeding from gums, or you will not see bleeding in the urine, or bleeding piles. You will not see all those things. When you have all those things, only and only then it becomes a hemorrhagic remedy. Ammonium carb, right? First, right? Ophidius. That's what I wanted from RS4. Lacasis aita? Good. So I'll take up Lacasis next class. Or once we finish carbohydrates. So all Ophidius. Bleeding from where? See, borax has bleeding from. See, in borax, slightest injury suppurates. Borax, slightest injury suppurates. And borax can also have bleeding mainly from the mouth ulcers. Otherwise, in borax, you don't see so much of bleeding. Epistaxis, gum bleeding, you don't see so much. Okay. I hope I'm clear. Yeah. So, hemorrhagic remedy. Somebody said Syncona. Beautiful. Yes, Syncona. Okay. And whatever you are trying to tell, Ferrum. Yes, I get it. Now, this is also a hemorrhagic remedy. Next time, when somebody asks, you should also remember carbohydrates. Okay. Hemorrhagic remedy. And the bleeding in carbohydrates. What can you expect when you talk of hemorrhages? It can be venous or it can be arterial. From the arteries or from the veins. This is a remedy which has more of venous hemorrhages. Hemorrhages which are dark. Okay? Hemorrhages which are dark. And one more character I want to highlight here in carbohydrates. I will again discuss on a characteristic. The bleeding in carbohydrates is very slow. What we say? Passive. Slow hemorrhages. Dark hemorrhages. Phosphorus has bleeding which is gushing. You getting my point? Okay. For example, a lady having menstrual problems. In phosphorus, the flow is continuous and it is gushing. In carbohydrates, she might have flow for 15 days, but flow will be very minimal. Every day 1 pad, 2 pad, but it has been there. But in phos, 1 hour is over, 1 pad is already soaked, she has to change. That is what we call it as gushing, profuse, which is very prominent in phos. Carbohydrate has got slow. We will also see why there is slowness after some time. But for the time being, carbohydrate has got slow hemorrhages. Okay? Before I take up the next study, any questions you have from your side? Boys, what did you understand? Carbohydrates is a remedy which is prepared from vegetable charcoal and animal was the brewer, and it is prepared by trituration. A deep acting remedy, constitutional remedy having main action on this particular area. Mucous membrane, venous system, lymphatics, glands, blood, and of course the GA. Okay? The gastrointestinal tract. And what carbohydrates does here is it will cause increased flatulence. It will cause increased flatulence. There is a lot of gas formation. There are so many patients who come to our clinic now, gassy abdomen, both gas formation of the ducts are. We will discuss a little later what is the speciality of flatulence or what is the speciality of gastritis or gastric affections used in carbohydrates. Okay? Any questions? Am I clear? Going very slow so that all of you can follow what I am trying to say. Any questions? Good? You continue? Okay. Chalo. Now what are the elements? What are the positive factors? What are the positive factors? See, this again is very, very important. And without cause nothing happens. You agree? Similarly, what are those which will cause complaints in carbohydrates, elements? Okay. See, to start with, it can be bad effects of mercury, bad effects of quinine, it can be bad effects of allopathic drugs. There are plenty of things I will see. See, to start with, this is a remedy which is again part of for complaints which comes from loss of fluids. Okay. What do you understand by loss of fluids? Dehydration. Good. Dehydration. Like within the vital salts in your body, they are lost. Okay. For example, a person having continuous vomiting, a person having continuous diarrhea, a person losing blood. Blood is also vital fluid. Okay. Or, for example, excess masturbation. You getting my point? Bad effects of masturbation. Excess. That's the reason I am using the word excess masturbation. Right? So there you can use this ailments from loss of fluids. Okay? And this is again a top remedy in which you have ailments from loss of fluids. Loss of fluids. Okay? And other than this, you also have ailments from mercury. Ailments from mercury. Bad effects of mercury. Not only mercury, bad effects of quinine. And in carbohydrates, quinine, bad effects of quinine can give rise to hardness of hearing. Hardness of hearing. Though quinine is used now, I don't deny, but during Hahnemann's time, if you read his books, okay, for any fever, quinine was abused. Okay? Then, so bad effects of quinine in carbohydrates will have more of impaired hearing. Impaired hearing. And I was also trying to tell you about bad effects of allopathic drugs. Bad effects of allopathic drugs. What do you understand by this? Bad effects of allopathic drugs. Overusage could be one. Overusage can be one. See, not necessarily it can be overusage. There are so many people now, just one tablet and they have got a bad reaction. So it can be sensitivity. It can be sensitivity to some allopathic tablets, or it can be allopathic tablets which are abused. Fine? Which are abused. Okay? Now again, in carbohydrates, when do you think of carbohydrates when you have bad effects of allopathic remedies? Especially after antibiotics. Okay? After antibiotics, if a person complains of weakness, okay? If a person complains of weakness, and what is the reason for this weakness? Sir, I was absolutely fine. I started some treatment, some marks, something taxin, makes him some antibiotic he takes, and then he starts feeling weak. One remedy, or the only remedy we have in our materia medica is carbohydrates. Okay? Because bad effects of allopathic remedies, we got plenty of remedies. Some 18 to 20 we have. Okay? Then, and when it is specifically antibiotics, and the remedy becomes, the remedy is carbohydrates. Okay? Which are the other remedies for bad effects of allopathic drugs? Very good, Maximum. Allosocatrina. Allosocatrina has more of ailments from sedentary habits. Okay, chalo. Naxvamica, then. Only Naxvamica. I told how many remedies? 4. Okay, I mean, see, when you talk of vaccination, it becomes different. A lot of other remedies come up. I am talking to you about, I know, vaccines, but then more general will be allopathic drugs. Ailments from allopathic drugs. Huh? Camphora. No problem. Camphora is for bad effects of homeopathic Camphora. You have another remedy. I don't know if you are aware of. Which is the remedy to antidote bad effects of homeopathic Kafia? After giving a wrong remedy. This is RS3 is over. RS3 best. Yeah, no. What I am trying to tell you is, a remedy is over. So I mean that remedy is there in your syllabus. That's what I am trying to tell you. It's not difficult. Bad effects of homeopathic remedies? No. हाँ? सबको नक्स नहीं दे सकते अपना, होम्योपैथी को भी नक्स, एलोपैथी को भी नक्स, कुछ नहीं मालूम हुआ नक्स, सबको नक्स, और सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर है नक्स, I mean, which is the remedy? Ella, it's not Asna Kamal. When did I tell you you should be telling about Asna Kamal? When you don't know, must be you don't know now. That's why Asna Kamal has come up. No, it's not Asna Kamal. It's not Naxamita. See, camphor generally, it will antidote our homeopathic remedies and all those things. But you give a non-homeopathic remedy, and then they come out with some symptoms. Okay? Then which is the remedy? Like for example, Laxmamika, after they go to 3-4 allopathy doctors, they come to you. Before what homeopaths used to tell, 4-5 डॉक्टर के पास जाएगा है ना, एलोपैथी डॉक्टर के पास, तो फर्स्ट क्या करने का, नक्सोमिका देने का, शुरू करने का, सब एंटीडोट करने का, then you start. That was a concept long back. Now we have grown beyond that. We don't need all those things just because they have come from allopathy. We don't give you nexomica. It's a bad practice. My question is exactly opposite. Which is the remedy which is given for bad effects of or after effects or unwanted effects of homeopathic remedies? No, don't come back. Yeah, that's what I'm asking you. See, what happens generally, what happens is we tell you and you forget. Not that I have not told, I have told. Okay? No, you can't take sides now. This time you say you didn't tell us, and next time just say you didn't tell us. That's not the question. But anyway, I mean, this is very important. Huh? You want last letter? No, don't worry. I mean, I'll give you the remedy. Don't bother. See, but I personally feel this is very important because bad effect. See, homeopathic medicines also can cause a lot of side effects, a lot of bad effects. And one remedy you will have to remember is sepia. Sepia. ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಆಗಿದೆ. Good. Sepia ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ? But do remember bad effects of homeopathic medicines. The remedy is sepia. The remedy is sepia. Okay? So you have some 18 remedies. In that, one remedy is also sepia. Bad effects of allopathic drugs. Sepia. You also have Naxmamika. You have lachesis. Okay? You also have pulsatilla. Pulsatilla is also over. Now, for them it is not over. For you people it is over. Pulsatilla. Bad there. Okay? Bad. So, but when carbohydrates? And what will be the effect of antibiotics? In a constitution who belongs to carbohydrates, they feel weak, they feel tired. Okay? And loss of fluids we discuss, ailments from shock, ailments from anticipation, ailments from anxiety, ailments from eating spoiled fish or spoiled meat. Ailments from eating spoiled fish or spoiled meat. Can I have few remedies? Very good. Number one remedy. Yes, Ashley Kumar. Food poisoning. Ailments from eating spoiled, decomposed food. Okay? Right? Ashley Kumar. Good. Other than Ashley Kumar. Ailments from eating spoiled fish. Colchicum. What is there in colchicum? What is there in colchicum? Colchicum is sensitive to smell. Fish odor, egg odor, or any cooked food. Food is getting cooked. That odor they are very sensitive. Black white. You see them nauseating or you see them vomiting. Okay. More so, colchicum is also a remedy which cannot, have a look at or even smell fish. Not necessarily spoiled. Even fresh fish, no, they are not like that smell. They start vomiting. Ailments from spoiled fish. One more remedy. There are plenty, but I want one more. Ailments from spoiled fish, meat. You also have it in Pulsatilla. You have it in Crotalus. You have it in Pyrogenum. You have it in Lachesis. But one remedy which is already over for you. Ailments from spoiled fish is Allium Cepa. Okay? So, and there are also problems from eating fat. And fat in carbohydrates can give rise to indigestion. It can cause flatulence. Okay? Which is the other remedy which will not tolerate fat? Pulsatilla. But what is the specialty in Pulsatilla? Louder. Microbiome. What is it that is special in Pulsatilla? Pulsatilla loves fat. Right? Pulsatilla likes fat, but they cannot digest fat. You getting my point? Pulsatilla likes fat, but they will not digest fat. After fatty food, they will have diarrhea. Not that they have an aversion. Or they might stop eating because 3-4 times they would have had fatty food, and that's all kya faida? Kaake. Kana fir jana. So it's better not to have. Is what Pulsatilla will realize. So fat and getting overheated. Very good, beautiful anti-improved. Getting overheated. Yes, anti-improved bryonia. 2 beautiful remedies your friend has given. Top remedies. Anti-improved bryonia. Getting overheated. It is sunny outside and then you cover up with some warm clothing and you become overheated. Complaints which comes from getting overheated. One more remedy. Gelsemium, better remedy. Is there your syllabus? RS3.
Sulfur.
Bromium. Okay. You can also add carboveg. In carboveg you will have headaches from getting overheated. And suppress eruptions, suppress discharges. What is it? Suppress discharges. Other remedies? Welcome and suppress eruptions. Yes. Suppress discharges. In carboveg, suppressed ear discharge. Suppressed ear discharge can cause ailments from in carboveg. Okay? And ailments from surgery. They have not recovered well after a surgery. Okay? You can think of carboveg. And not recovered from previous illness. Since when you have problems, sir, few days back I had typhoid, few days back I had malaria, whatever, viral fever, whatever. And since then I am not fine. Okay? So not recovered from a previous illness. Not recovered from a previous illness. You can think of carboveg. Not well since a previous illness is carboveg. Okay? Too many ailments now. We will have a quick revision. Ailments from in carboveg. I'm remembering few more. You also have this ailments from salt. Ailments from eating salt. In carboveg, they will have 10 complaints. They can have bleeding gums, or they can have pain, toothache after salt. Toothache after salt. Okay? Yeah, we will quickly revise. Mercury, quinine, antibiotics, loss of fluid, shock, anticipation, anxiety, spoiled fish, meat, fat, discharges, surgery, salt, and not well since a previous sickness or previous illness. Okay? And carboveg, to look, they are generally obese people. They are fat. Okay? Fat, lazy, and such people who have chronic complaints, chronic ailments, you can think of carboveg. Generally obese people. Other remedies for obese constitution? Calcareous, ammonium, calicus. Okay, calcarea, cali. We also have ammonium group, more of ammonium carb. Capsicum, plenty of remedies, pulse, lot of remedies. We'll discuss. See now, very important point, which generally many of us miss, is the miasm. Though I will not deal in depth about miasms, it is an organon topic, but the understanding of miasm makes your life, forget about materia medica, makes your life very simple. Okay? Beautiful topic. Whenever it comes up in your organon, please concentrate, understand. As I was trying to tell you, it will change your life, it will change your thinking. Beautiful topic. Okay? And every remedy, okay, will have a predominant miasm. And miasms, as told by Hahnemann, there are only three: Psora, psychosis, syphilis. Though tubercular was also told, but basically three miasms: Psora, psychosis, syphilis. Okay, and each miasm has got beautiful understanding. Psora, I will not go in more in detail, but Psora is this over miasm? No. But one line. Psora is mainly to do with functional problems. Okay, Psora is mainly to do with functional problems. So you see more of inflammation and all in Psora. Psora is a basic miasm. Right? For example, what we eat, what we breathe, right? What is required for life activities, there are Psora. And psychosis is the second miasm. And psychosis is mainly to do with, some knew about inflammation in Psora. In psychosis, you will see more of accumulation. Okay? Like for example, hypertrophy is more of accumulation. Right? Okay? And the third miasm is more of destructive miasm. See again, go with your pathology. Psora is inflammation, psychosis is construction, fine, and syphilitic is destruction. Inflammation, accumulation, construction, or it can be destruction. Like for example, gangrene, ulcers, there are destruction, there are syphilitic. Okay? So if you apply this, each remedy will have all the three. It can have Psora, it can have psychosis, it can have syphilis. But one miasm will be dominant. Okay? Likewise, if you see in Carbowaste, the miasm that dominates is more of psychosis. Though you also have syphilis, I don't know. What I am trying to tell you is the miasm which dominates. I was talking about inflammation, Psora came. And we spoke of destruction, syphilis also came. You getting my point? But you see more of psychosis in Carbowaste. Okay? See, miasm is a beautiful thing. The worst problem, or many of us fail in our clinics because we don't understand miasms. It's like a company promoting a rival company. I am a materia medica teacher, but what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to promote the organon topic. But it is important. Unless you are clear with miasms, you will not be successful in your homeopathic practice. Okay? So Psora is normal physiology. See, every aspect you will be seeing the miasms. You give me any example. You talk of food, okay? How will a psoric person eat? How will a psoric person eat? See, psoric person will eat what is required. You getting my point? That is, for his normal functioning, for his normal activities to happen in your body, you eat. Thoda time, how much is required is what you eat. How will a psychotic person eat? कभी अगर किसी के घर में फॉर एग्जाम्पल रमजान हुआ, ईद हुआ, तो किसी ने इन्वाइट किया आपको. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you now. Every walk of your life you will be seeing miasm. And once you understand miasms, then if you enter a party, you know who is Psora. Somebody with plate filled with biryani and pieces. क्या बोलेंगे आप? Hey, देख बस psychosis. You getting my point? Now, what psychosis generally do is they eat beyond. You getting my point? And you'll have the extremes in syphilitic. Okay? Syphilitic may not eat, or they eat all unwanted things. Like for example, syphilitic, you should have seen people eating undigestible things. You should have seen people eating chalk, all those things. Or something, very unusual, very peculiar cravings, desires. They belong to the syphilitic miasm. Syphilitic is a kind of perverted, a kind of destructive miasm. आप पीने खाएंगे ना? Is this normal? With due respects to people who eat, is this normal? It's abnormal. Now, why is this abnormal? Because will this give you anything? Fine. Whatever your food gives, whatever the physiological events that happen in your body, it is not happening here. You getting my point? So, psoriasis, psychosyphilis everywhere. For example, any example you can talk of. For example, gay. For example, a guy marrying a guy, a girl marrying a girl, lesbians. Which miasm? Fast can be answered. Very good. In syphilitic, everything happens fast. Not that your friend is syphilitic, because she gave an answer which was very fast. But she understood the concept. Why lesbians, gay, homos, they belong to syphilitic? From your forensic knowledge, what are these? Yes, it is perversion, it is against nature, it is unnatural. And what is the result of this? Agata. You're getting my point? Yeah, getting my point. So there are perversions. There are against nature. Fine? There are unnatural. Anything that is unnatural is syphilitic. You getting my point? Anything that is unnatural is syphilitic. We can talk about songs, dressing. That's what I'm trying to do. Once the miasms are over, if you start applying everything, for example, the makeup you do, the way you dress, fine? Okay? Everywhere. You name it, we can tell the miasms. Songs, how they are, how they sing, what are the narrations, you have miasms. Everywhere you have miasms. Fine? So, I am trying to insist more here because in third year you have miasms. Okay? And carbohydrate is predominantly psychotic. Though you have syphilitic and though you also have psoriasis. Okay? Any questions at this stage? Anything you would like to ask? Anybody? We'll stop. Characteristic symptoms will take it up in the next class.